Hi, this is John Birmingham, and I'm gonna tell you how you can live off the grid, supposedly off the grid, while still being a tax-paying American and a part of civilization and society. And all you need is $3,000, and that'll pay your bills with some hard work at some farming type of stuff. Well, a garden for the next 20 years, 30 years, a long time. You just got to work at the gardening, and this is how you're going to do it. I'll just tell you. I don't have to look it up. I can show you in a video right here. I was going to show you some websites where you can do this. You go to Zillow.com or one of those sites where you buy real estate. You look for all types of land across the United States, and you can get some land for $1,000, and you can get a cheap RV for $1,400, and you can get one even cheaper than that if you had to, or you could spend more money than the $3,000 if you have more money than that. And any extra money you have to save can be helpful if you need it. So you get the RV and you drive it onto your land. You research gardening, how to plant edible foods. You can plant it and starting in the spring you can look into when you can start your garden. Make sure there's sun, get some land where you can actually plant it on it, and park your RV there. Make sure it's legal to park your RV there, because some land is not allowed to park an RV there. It has to be a certain distance from neighbors and stuff like that. You can get larger land. You can get acres, sometimes for only a few $1,000s, sometimes for $1,000 in certain parts of the country. Not around here, but some places you can. And you can also build your own house. There are some people who use recycled materials, and they build a small house, less than 200 square feet, about 100 something square feet, that you don't need a building permit for, and you can build the whole house. It's a good shelter. You get a wood burning stove for $100, buy some pipe for the flue to run it out of the roof so you can burn wood in the winter time and just chop your own wood with an axe, and you have heat in the winter time. And can all the vegetables and food. Make sure you have some protein stuff like beans and things that have protein. You can, when the plants that you plant, or the legume plants that you plant. And I'm seeing if I'm missing anything here. You can build out of recycled materials. $800, you build a house. You can get a toilet bowl that sits by itself for $90 to $100, a new one. You use the bathroom on it, make it number 2, number 1. Or I hate to say either one of those associated with anything, because there's so much good associated with the number 1 and number 2, for lack of a better word, trying to glorify what it is. You use the bathroom in it, it closes, it has a bottom thing, it's like a toilet seat, has an under part of it, of the toilet seat that's fills up. It has a bag inside, it fills up with all the stuff, and then you bag it up and dispose of it. Now, you may have to pay taxes on the land. Well, of course you do have to pay taxes on the land, and that is going to be very cheap. If you get it for only $1,000, it's going to be very cheap taxes. So what else? You need to take a shower so you can drive to a gym. You'll have to pay for a car ride to the gym unless you get it within walking distance of the gym and get a bicycle. Then you can ride to a gym to take a shower. Gym membership is cheap as like $40 a month, $30 a month. something like that. Some places may have a gym for $10 a month, and that's within the $3,000 budget. Um, you can take a shower there, or you can get land near a lake or pond, but be careful not to get bacteria by cleaning too much and often in the lake and pond. So you got to be careful, and you have to have medical coverage. So um, you can apply for Medicaid in some instances unless you're able to work. Now this will allow you to work at something more than just the garden, or you can find a way you don't have to work yourself, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have to really have to work at that garden. You may build a garden bigger so you can sell some of the food as a farmer. You can work online because then you won't be working your regular job. You can find an online job. You can get a cell phone that has a hotspot if they don't have the internet out where you are. And then that's when the expenses come in and you can spend more money. I have the internet out here. I have a regular house. It's going to cost some money. There's no such thing as really 100% off the grid, but you could try. For $3,000, you could technically do it and get started. That would be enough to buy the seeds and the farming stuff you need to start a farm and sell some of the extra stuff. And right now we're having the food. Hopefully nothing too bad. And that's all you need to survive is $3,000. You can go out and buy a piece of land in the woods somewhere, or somewhere that gets light. Of course, it's going to have plenty of light. You'd have to be able to buy your own food if you lived out in the woods, unless you already have some way of getting food. If you know how to live off of the food in a forest, there's some food in a forest that you can get, but I wouldn't suggest that as much. You're probably going to have to spend some money besides just the $3,000. So that's where you can do something to make money online, or drive to some part-time job or a job to contribute in some way to the rest of society. Maybe with your garden, just make it big enough to sell produce to other people. You can make a fence and get chickens. You can have your own eggs. And there are all sorts of things you can do to make money, but you can probably be okay the first year or few years on just having $3,000 cash to get started and being very frugal about it. Buy your own land, pull a cheap RV out there you can stay in for shelter. You're going to need something to keep you heated. You can have a gas-powered generator. If you don't have electricity, you can use a gas-powered generator. You can get some RVs that have a shower in them. $8,000, you can get a whole house type of RV that you can pull behind something else for $8,000, and that has a shower in it and everything that you need. And people have like 20,000 or more, 30,000, however much, 10,000. They can have their own house and just plant their own food, and then you can the food in the winter time. But that's something else. I don't know. I haven't done this personally with a garden yet, but I know how to do it. I've planted tomatoes and stuff like that, but no, and anyway, you can really go out there and do it. You might have to do some research on how to do it yourself, but you can. They have land on Zillow.com for $1,000, $1,200, $2,800. Have some for $600. You have to find how you'd be able to live there, and make sure that you look at the laws in your county or city where you live, so you know if it's okay to build a small structure without needing a permit, how many square feet you can get away with, how close it has to be, or you have to legally follow the law with everything you're doing. There's nothing else besides that. Has to follow the law perfectly for what you're doing, insofar as perfect is possible. But there's always inherent there are inherent flaws with anything that you do. Just try to follow the legal system as as best as you can. You have to follow the law. You have to follow the law. So look into the rules and ways of doing it. Look to see, do you need a building permit to build in your county or city or area where you live? How close to the neighbors can you be with the land that you own and the building you're putting on your land? And you can build more. You can build your own small house that has a septic system, access to the public water, or you can build a well. In some instances, it has to be a certain distance. Then you need a permit. Then you need a building permit. You can go to a contractor to build a house if you have more money to get someone like that to have running water, to have electricity, stuff like that, which is almost necessary to have running water, unless you just can figure out a way that you're not going to get sick and diseased and be able to not take a shower for a long time, or be able to do it in a lake or pond and then kind of disinfect yourself with some sort of disinfectant if you have any cuts or any way that it can hurt you from doing that sort of thing. You want to have good medical coverage. So there are going to be some expenses. It's not literally going to be just $3,000 doing all that, but when you do enough research, you can do this, and you won't have to have a regular job. You can have some sort of other job that still can be is regular, or can be regular, or isn't regular. You can have a different sort of job nowadays where it's regular for people to work on the internet, or regular for people to start their own farm. That's always been a regular thing. And all you have to do is plant your own vegetables at your house way away from everybody, and drive somewhere where you can sell them, or keep them for yourself and just live on it. Live on all the food that you plant, and do something for a living. Try to get access to the internet so you can stay on the same page as the rest of the world, especially the nation, the rest of the world. And then you can make some money online. There are things that you can do to make some money online. All right, that's it. Thinking if I have missed anything that'll allow you to work on something you really like your hobby, and make money at your hobby, whatever your hobby may be. Okay, and stay in good health so you don't have to risk going to the doctor as much. Work out more. Okay, that's it, John Birmingham. Here's some other videos you can click on. All right. Bye. Click like on this, that, and bye. Before it's too much, you can click on these videos. Click like in the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Okay, bye.